Have you ever wondered if there are other worlds out there? Not in some distant galaxy, but worlds hidden right here, right in front of us, just waiting for us to see them? So, before we get started on this journey, just quick thought. If you enjoy stories like this, stories that kind of shift how you see things, please follow the channel and share this. It really genuinely helps me create more of these for you. All right, let's begin. For 30 days, I decided to become an explorer. But my ship, well, it wasn't a ship. It was my own mind. My mission? To map out a world that was hiding in plain sight. And my expedition logs, they didn't start with coordinates. They started with the light itself. I started by just trying to catalog the colors of this place. And right away, they felt different, more alive. They all had their own names, their own feeling. That fiery, really passionate color of a sunset, here it was called rojo. And that deep, endless feeling of the sky and the ocean, that was azul. The bright, hopeful color of the morning sun, amarillo. It was like every name was a little magic spell, a new way to see something that had been there all along. I quickly realized I wasn't just translating words. I was experiencing them. Rojo felt so much warmer than just red. Azul felt deeper than blue. The world was, and I mean this literally, becoming more colorful. Okay, so after charting the colors, I turned my attention to the rhythm of this world. The way time passed. The seasons here weren't just changes in the weather. No, they were like these distinct chapters in a huge story the world was telling itself year after year. You had the long, warm breath of El Verano, then the crisp, kind of poetic feeling of El Otoño when all the leaves would fall. And then came the sharp, quiet sleep of El Invierno, which was always followed by this just explosive, vibrant awakening of La Primavera. It was the same cycle I'd always known, but hearing the words for it, it made me feel its pulse for the very first time. So, with the landscape and its cycles down, I started to focus on the world's inhabitants. I began out on the plains, in these places they called granjas. I started encountering these creatures that they seemed familiar, but also totally alien. The big, gentle animal that gave milk was called una vaca. The powerful, noble one running through the fields was un caballo. And the smart, stout animal in the mud, un cerdo. Their names were like music. My journey then took me away from the solid ground of the granja and out to the endless blue of what the people here called El Mar. And I knew, deep down below the surface, a whole different kingdom was waiting, silent and ancient. And here, the sense of awe was just, you could feel it. The top predator, this creature of sleek, terrifying beauty, was called un tiburon. The quiet, glowing dancers of the deep, una medusa. It was like the names themselves carried the weight and the mystery of the ocean. So for my last stop, I focused my lens on the things that grew from the soil, the silent, breathing life that seemed to hold this whole world together, the flora. And even the simplest things felt completely profound. A single tall tree wasn't just a tree, it was un árbol. A little burst of color coming up from the dirt was una flor. The very ground under my feet, that soft green carpet, was el césped. Every single word was like its own tiny poem. So I'm filling notebooks with all these discoveries, right? Rojo, el verano, una vaca, un tiburón, un árbol. I honestly felt like a pioneer discovering a new planet. But as my vocabulary for this new world grew, a strange, creeping feeling of familiarity started to set in. And then, the pieces just started clicking into place. The creatures I was documenting, I realized I'd seen them before. The majestic caballo, that was a horse. The beautiful flor was a flower. The fearsome tiburon was a shark. And then it hit me. Like a tidal wave, this alien planet, this strange new land I had been so carefully exploring, it wasn't alien at all. It was Earth. It was my world, the very same one I had woken up in every day of my life. Nothing around me had actually changed. The world was exactly the same. The only thing that was different was the lens I was using to see it. The only thing that had changed was me. I realized that learning Spanish for 30 days hadn't just taught me new words. It had fundamentally rewired my brain. It took the everyday, the mundane things I totally took for granted, and it made them feel extraordinary again. It proved that reality isn't some fixed thing, it's shaped by the language we use to describe it.
I didn't need a spaceship to find a new world. Turns out I just needed a dictionary. And we all have this power, this ability to unlock new realities hidden right inside us.
Because when you learn another language, you're not just learning words. It's like you're borrowing someone else's eyes for a while. You get to see the world from a completely new angle, feel the seasons in a new rhythm, and understand that there are a million different ways to experience the exact same reality. It's the ultimate act of empathy, really. So I guess my question to you is this. If a new language can turn your own backyard into another planet, what undiscovered world is waiting for you? Maybe just one word away. If this story made you feel something, please share it with someone who might need to see the world a little differently too. And follow for more journeys into the ideas that shape our lives.